All right, for our next example, I want to, let's say, create a table like this, which is very similar to one of the labs that you need to do. For that, you need to create and print numbers and put them in the form of table from 1 to 200. All right. So I took the similar example to like the asterisk and like printing numbers in a table, and I want to just modify that to do something like this, just printing numbers starting from 1 all the way to whatever value it gets to. So you need to play with the range and the number of items you will have in each of the rows, and like you need to say how many columns you want to have. So the inner loop again takes care of creating one of your rows, and then the outer loop dictates how many rows you should have. Okay, so basically the inner loop is the number of columns that you have, and then the outer loop is the number of rows that you have. So this is the number of rows, which is your outer loop, and then this one, which is your inner loop, is the number of columns. All right, so make sure you understand this because it's very important whenever you're setting your nested loops. Okay, so now let's try to see if we can create these numbers. In our previous example, we saw it is easy to create numbers, like if you want to repeat 1, 2, 3 and see that in each of the rows. It's very simple. You can play with the variables that you already have to create something like that. If you do not have, but here the values are going to change in each of the rows. So you can play, again, you can play with the variables that you have to do that. Or for something like that, for something like this, which is very simple and just incrementing the values, you can even go with a different variable and start that value with start from 1, for instance, and just print it. Okay, after you're done printing it, just make sure you add 1 to it, so the next time that you come, you are incremented it already. So if I run this, I should see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 all the way to 12. Okay, see, like a very, very small change. Or you can play with I and J to do something like that for you. Okay, similarly, you can do, you can use, okay, so now let's go back and fix this issue with lining up. Okay, right now the table doesn't look too good, like all the items are not lined up perfectly. They are like, especially when you start getting 2 digits number, they are off completely. Okay, now let's see how we can fix that. Do you have any idea how to do it? Think for a couple of minutes and see if you can come up with something that fixes this issue. So like having all of the numbers to be perfectly aligned with each other. You can pause the video, think for a couple of minutes, and then come back and try to do it. All right? All right. So now the solution, hopefully by now you know how to do it, but if not, that's okay. This is kind of the first time that we are seeing something like this, but you have seen some example of trying to format different things the way that you wanted them. All right, so in this example, I want to format these numbers in a specific way. For instance, having each number to have specific number of character allocated to it. Okay, so for instance, if I give one 4 character allocated to it, then I will have that for all of them, that force them to all line up because they're all going to have 4 characters, and I'm going to print that. So it makes it to line up perfectly. So when I'm printing this count, I'm going to use format function. So I'm going to say format this value. Okay, so this is the value. Count is a value that I want to format, and then the second argument is going to be my format specifier, how I want to format it. So let's say I want to allocate 5 characters to it, right? So let's run and see what we get so far, and then go back and try to change it. All right, so here it is. Here's the outcome. If I just say, all right, 5 character, allocate 5 character to each of these items. So you see, it looks much better now. They are aligned. It looks good. So you can like play with it. If you want them to be left justify or right justify, you can do that. So if you make them left justify, they all start from the very left side of the screen. If you want to make them centered, you can do that, or you can make them right justify, which is the default value of it. Okay, so it's up to you which one you prefer better, and you can go with that. All right.